Nothing. No startling story. Never once before told. Just some guy at school, smart and funny and what have you. From like our first time together, he was there with the I love you. Constantly. He would say it every time I did something correct or endearing. Just toss it out like a piece of liver to a finalist at the Westminster Dog Show. And I couldn't say it back. Felt it, but coward. After a few months, when I realized that this was what they were writing all those songs about, and I was ready to, I don't know, speak my emotions, he turned to me on a bright winter morning and said that though he cared deeply for me, he was no longer, interested in pursuing the physical side of our relationship. Charming. And then he left, and I threw myself into writing. And it's not the newest story you'll ever hear. I used to be a very negative person. But then I went to one of these personality workshops, and it totally turned my life around. Now, when something bad or negative happens, I can see the positive. Now, when I've had a really bad day, or someone I thought was a really good friend betrays me, or maybe I've been hit by one of those stupid people riding their bicycle the opposite way on a one-way street. So of course you hadn't looked in that direction. And there they are, all of a sudden, bearing down on you, about to kill or maim you. Anyway, I can look at any one of these things and tell myself, this glass is not half full. It is half empty. No, I said it backwards. Force of habit. This glass is not half empty, it is half full. Of course, if they hit you with the stupid bicycle, your glass will not be half empty or half full. Now will it? No, it will be shattered into 1,000 pieces, and you will be dead or in the hospital. Anyway, I hated my life, and I had to change it. I had to say to myself, you are not blind. You do not have cancer, at least not today. You are not one of the starving children in India, or China, or in Africa. Look at the sunrise. Look at the sunset. Why don't you enjoy them? For God's sake! And no! I do. Except, of course, if it's too cloudy and you can't see the sun. Or if it's too hot. Or if it's too cold. I better go to a few more personality workshops just to complete the process. As being positive, business isn't quite within my grasp. That's why opera is important, Baron. Because it's realer than any play. The dramatic poet would have to put all those thoughts down, one after another, just to represent this second of time. The composer can put them all down at once and still make us hear each one of them. Astonishing device. A vocal quartet. Oh, I tell you, I want to write a finale lasting half an hour. A quartet becoming a quintet, becoming a sextet, becoming a septet. On and on, wider and wider, all sounds multiplying and rising together, and then together making a sound entirely new. I bet you that's how God hears the world. Millions of sounds ascending at once and mixing in his ear to become an unending music, unimaginable to us. That's our job. That's our job. We composers, to take the inner minds of him and him and him and her and her. The thoughts of chambermaids and court composers, and turn the audience into God. There are many things from which I have derived good, by which I have not profited, I dare say. Christmas among the rest. But I am sure I have always thought of Christmas time, when it has come round, as a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know of in the long calendar of the year, when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely. They think of people above and below their station as though they really were fellow passengers to the grave, and not another race of creatures bound on other journeys. And therefore, uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe Christmas has done me good, will do me good, and I say, God bless it.